Carin-Isabel Knoop for the 40th anniversary of Bled. Leadership today seems to be constantly discussed, and yet one of the most consequential variables is still rarely addressed, which is stress. We still tend to treat it as a background noise or a personal issue, or simply now as the price of ambition and the result of burnout. But stress systematically shapes judgment, behavior, relationships, and performance, which are all absolutely core traits of leaders. The blind spot is not new at all, but I think it does take us back 40 years to the founding of IEDC. So this was the mid 1980s, a time when I came into the workforce and spent some time actually working in the region, and it was marked by a great deal of geopolitical uncertainty, economic transition, institutional instability, especially in Central and Eastern Europe. Basically, the systems were changing a lot faster than the frameworks could reliably explain, which is very similar actually to the life that now we're making decisions in. At the time, leadership education, I think, was very focused on structure, strategy, control, and there was very little attention paid to how leaders themselves functioned under sustained pressure and how they could learn. So over the past 40 years, much has changed. Markets have globalized, technology coming and going, decision-making cycles have accelerated. The visibility, speed, and accountability have really dramatically increased, and everything seems to be happening in this fishbowl. The one thing that hasn't changed is that it's still humans managing humans, and the human nervous system hasn't changed. And so the leaders that we're all training today are making decisions under uncertainty, but also into, I think, what feels like absolute continuous pressure, constant evaluation. No one is ever happy, and very, very limited time for recovery as things just keep on coming. When it's not the climate, it's geopolitics, and there are very consequential features of the performance systems that really haven't adapted. You'll notice that I still have a name tag of the first time that I was invited to speak in Bled in May 2024 at the conference titled From Doomsday to New Optimism, which I think should really be a symbol of this birthday celebration for your wonderful, wonderful school. At the time, this conversation that we had with the founder of Rimac, ex-CEO of Coca-Cola, and the Prime Minister of Finland was very much across different domains, but a reminder of how much there is to learn from different disciplines and how to resist making short-term decisions with long-term consequences. We discussed what leaders were facing and also how they respond to these conditions. Very much inspired by my time in Bled and also the school's commitment to seeing the leader as a holistic individual, and also the connection to the arts and other places that really nourish the soul, inspired me to develop a course here at Harvard called Rethinking Performance and Stress, a multidisciplinary approach. In it, we discuss the fact that we don't believe that stress is noise in a performance system. It's a central variable. And there's also something very good about stress because it pushes us forward. It's kind of filling this gap that a lot of leadership education still seems to think of stress as peripheral or something that can be taught as an aside. In our course, we examine how stress affects decision-making under time pressure as a psychological but also a physiological event, how it plays into the coordination and trust building in teams, impacts judgment, and also impacts our capacity to learn from failure and recover. The course also focuses on the fact that while a lot of well-being is now very much at the individual level, we cannot be individually well when we are collectively unwell. And so part of improving well-being is not just our well-being and managing our stress, but also finding ways to help others manage their stress and recover from it. And also think of stress as a way that brings us forward and work as a place that is really important to our mental health. So I think one thing that has happened with this over-indexing towards protecting ourselves from work is to forgetting that it provides us a structure, a community, a reason of being, and of course, a financial livelihood. As I think back about the intersection between my seeking to understand performance under pressure, but also how it connects to many different disciplines, is very much related to the work that has been done in IEDC since its founders, and it's very special to be part of these celebrations to tell you a little bit more about our course and our work, and hopefully sees this as the beginning of many more conversations. Again, congratulations to the school, to everybody who has made it what it is, including all of its alumni and the community that it has built. This broader view, I think, of leadership development that takes human experience seriously alongside analytical rigor was modern then, is modern today, and is absolutely essential.